Hi everybody, this is ACBFF from mychartcoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the marijuana sector. And first up we're going to take a look at Tilray, ticker symbol TLRY. So yeah, it's back in the bull zone here at 50 to 70 at 59 there. The Fasto is back above 20 at 26. It 4, 8, and 13, the pink, lime, and orange lines. And so as long as those levels hold, the bulls are still in control. There was another close above those levels on Friday. Right now, it's at 148.20 in after hours trading. That's what it closed at. I've been keeping track of the after hours here. These are old annotations on the chart. What it needs to do is break above this 150 level. That's the bottom of the gap, and then just below 160 there, right around 159. That would be the top of the gap. So look for potential gap fill. It's going to have to break 150 resistance to do that, though. That's going to be a big level. If you look here on the Tilray 15-minute chart, you could see here it closed above this red line. I know it's a little bit difficult to see on Friday, and that's the 200 simple moving average that's currently at 140.37. As long as that level holds, it should be able to push higher. Now, that is the top moving average on this 15-minute chart. If it were to drop below, it would signal more consolidation. You could see here, this is the gap that I was just talking about. This is the bottom of the gap level, and so this is going to be the big level to break, this red line. And then when it runs up, if it does run up here to this, where is it at? Right here, the low of day, which is, yeah, would be the top of the gap right here on this red candle, which is just below 160. So you're looking for a potential move between 150 and 160 next week. Now, if it got above the bottom or the top of the gap level at 160, that would be really bullish. It would have to stay above that level once it broke. Okay, let's look at InBev, ticker symbol NBEV, closed up 30%. So yeah, this was a nice move on Friday. So congrats everybody. The CBD beverage makers are in play, and yeah, if you see here that it's still in the bull zone on RSI at 62. You've got down here a bounce off of this EMA 13 support zone. It was holding this orange line here, and on Friday it closed back above EMA's 4 and 8. So as long as it stays above this 478 level, this EMA 4 level, that signals the bulls are still in control. You could see after this red candle there was a big gap down, and all these candles were below the pink line until Friday. So it's trying to heat up again. Now it did fill the gap between low of day on this candle and high of day on this candle. You can see the upper wick. That was the high of day. It filled the gap and then it pulled back. So it's going to be all about trading above 575. And so you get above 575, you have the close here, and then you have up here just above 775. That's going to be the ultimate high close resistance level to break. And so yeah, this is what bulls are looking for, is a retrace up here to this 775 zone after, if it can break above this 625 to 6, yeah, right around 620 zone. And so yeah, we're going to see if it can stay above EMA's 4 and 8 next week. If it does drop below, that would signal consolidation. It would be a bearish change in trend if EMA 13 at 406 failed to hold. Yeah, let's look at InBev here on the, which chart is this? This is the weekly chart. And so, yeah, it did start to pull back up here on RSI. You want to see RSI stay above 70. If it dropped below 70, it could start cooling down. You can see you have the hook down on Fasto, a hook down on Plus DI. And so it's going to be important that it tries to push forward here. It had a hollow red candle. That means that it closed above the open last week. The open was down here, but it was still down for the week. The previous week's close was up here. Okay, so now you're looking at coming back up here to this previous high close from back in May, and that's the ultimate key level to break, just under 675. And so a weekly close above that 675 level, that should be the signal that it wants to push higher. Fail to break that level, and that'll be signaling the temporary top. It came down and it bounced right off of EMA 4 at 419, the pink line there. As long as that level is holding, the uptrend is intact. Okay, let's look at InBev here on one more chart on the or another chart on the monthly chart. So on the monthly chart here, you can see it's you know, up 261% for the month. It's still at 64 on RSI, so it's still below the 70 level, which it's pushed above in the past. At 46 on Fasto. Fasto got pulled back, so it still has a lot of juice to run. What it needs to do is bust above the high close from back here in May of 2017. It hit that level and it pulled back last week. It's right there right now. If it can break above this 575 level, that should be the clue that it wants to keep pushing higher. Failed to break that 575 and it would signal a temporary top. Okay, notice the huge volume last week. Giant volume behind the move. Okay, let's look at InBev on one final chart. This is the 15-minute chart, and you can see it has this uptrending channel. You can see this is the top of the channel, and then you've got the bottom of the channel here, and then it came down here and it bounced off of this, and then now it's up off this top here, and it's trying to bust through the top of the channel, and so basically it is this all about trading 575 and above, and that should signal it wants to head higher. You've got the gap from over here, you know, that it's trying to get back above this zone right here, and if it can get above 575, that's when it could push higher. Then you have the 650 level, you know, possibly a run back up into the sevens. Okay, let's look at IGC here. So IGC had a really big week last week, really lofty levels. You know, it's topped out, you know, in this zone in the past. And so, yeah, you have to keep an eye out once you get up here in this 80 to 90 RSI zone for it taking a breather. If you look here, it had 3 gap ups in a row last week. There was a gap up open between these candles, another gap up open, and a final gap up open on Friday. And so that did form the bearish 3 gap ups reversal pattern. Okay, and that just signals that it's getting a little ahead of itself here. It's pushing. This is one of the earliest candlestick patterns. It's one of the classics here, and so it does signal that the chart is getting frothy. So you have to be on the lookout for it cooling down next week. Not you know, it's likely to take a breather at some point early in the week with this setup. It is at 680 in after hours trading, so it was pushing higher. It's trying to bust through the 750 level, so it could be another gap up open on Monday, and that would make 4 gap ups in a row. There is an unfilled gap between high of day on Thursday and low of day on Friday. A drop down to that EMA4 at 462 would fill that gap. Notice the increasing volume pattern. So it had really big volume on Friday, that 104 million. So you need to be on the lookout for a climax spike. Notice the trajectory of the MACD line. Notice how steep it's getting. Once it starts getting really vertical, getting perpendicular, it is a sign that it is unsustainable, the uptrend, because it's just pushing a little too hard. Okay, let's look at IGC here on one final chart. This is the monthly chart, and so this is kind of showing you what's happening. It's up 290% for the month, so it's a huge month. So congrats everyone, 291%. You have RSI now at 90.5. That's really frothy on RSI. Fasto is above 80. You know, plus DI is really pushing there. A giant volume spike this month with 381 million shares traded. It did close above the upper Bollinger Band in EMA4 down here. The upper Bollinger Band's at 350 and it closed way up here at 645. So when that happens, you always have to be on the lookout for the candles working their way back into the bands. Now it's testing this 2010, 2011 resistance zone, and so it's going to be all about breaking this 650, you know, to 650 level, you know, 675 level, and pushing higher. As you can see, you know, back in 2009, 2010, it traded at much higher levels. The top of this jar, where you get a lot of resistance, up here at 1750. And so, yeah, this is a huge move. It just needs to hold EMA4 at 315 support to keep pushing higher. All right, yeah. So let's look at ACBFF here. And so, yeah, they're looking to uplist to a major stock exchange, I believe, sometime this month. You'll have to check out the press release on that. But yeah, that's the big thing in the next very short period of time. They're going to be the next big stock to move to a major stock exchange. This is one of the top dogs. This is like Canopy Growth, but right now it's trading over the counter. Ticker symbol ACBFF. They have had a lot of dilution, so that is something to keep in mind. And it has held the stock back in the past, but it has been making a good run. Right now you have our RSI here at 67, so it does have some room to run until the 70 level. Bullish crossover on Friday on Fasto. It can't came down here and it bounced right off of EMA8 support, currently at 907. So that's the big level to hold right now. If that broke, it could consolidate, possibly test that middle Bollinger Band, similar to how it did back here. To the upside, what you're looking for is a close above the closing price on the 25th. That's the bottom of this candle. A break above 975 would be really bullish. 975 and 1050 are two big levels to break above. Okay, let's look at ACBFF on one last chart. This is Aurora Cannabis, and so this is the weekly chart. And so you can see here with RSI at 66, it has a lot of room to run until these historic levels where it ran up to 90. So it could push. So heading into an IPO, it's got some room there. Look at the big volume. So people have been loading, obviously, anticipating the big move to the big boards here, and so you can see what it's doing is filling the jar back to the January high close resistance level, and so that's going to be the big level to break. You can see the cluster of candles is all right here around $11. A break above 11 would be really bullish. Right here, right around 1250 is the all-time high, and so that's what you're looking for with this stock right now. You're looking for it to run up here to 11, close above that level, above the high close from January, and then make a move up to 1250, and then possibly break above that level with the IPO. Okay, so that's the setup here. We'll just see how it plays out. Yeah, and yeah, thank you for viewing this video. I'm going to be making these videos shorter. I'm going to be keeping it to 4 stocks or less. Okay, yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and please come check out the chat. Thank you.